Me dep on Epstein Island, chillin' on a Epstein Island. You email me a brief so silent, but the conversation seem no private. Me dep on Epstein Island, chillin' on a Epstein Island. As a young thing give me excitement, hard to keep this secret quiet. The royal boy is here, he be chillin' on the pier. The weather so smooth, so nice, with a light young rum and ice. Say step on the island, no fear, no judgment on the island, it's clear. When Maxwell bring a surprise, we receive the package in a small size. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. You email me a brief so silent, but the conversation seem no private. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. Cause a young thing give me excitement, hard to keep this secret quiet. Me see a man in a wheelchair appear, him with a short gal vibing right near. A statesman just come off him flight, with a young thing on him left and right. There's a man a stand up at the gates, him want come in, he can't wait. Him look very smart and wise, foundation boy so nice. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. You email me a brief so silent, but the conversation seem no private. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. Cause a young king give me excitement, hard to keep the secret quiet. Mr. Musa call late at night, him want come over, want an invite. Him have no vibes, we no rate till. And Maxwell tell a idiot say the party's done. We laugh cause smart get one STD. Him living too young, wild and free. From one Russian gal, intercourse. His wife no happy, she want divorce. Next day come around, it's safari time. We a enjoy, we self-relax and wine. Jeffrey a drive we round in a the Jeep. Him a chill guy, can't believe them call him a creep. Look how the monkey, them a climb up and jump. Look on them go, them a climb and jump. Epstein Island a the place we be, if you want nature and animosity. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. You email me a brief so silent, but the conversation seem no private. Me up on Epstein Island, chilling on a Epstein Island. Cause a young thing give me excitement, hard to keep the secret quiet.
DJ Marks generated this shit.
My big beautiful Belle, Belle, Belle. All the things that you can feel, feel, feel. You make me feel so alive, with that incredible size. My big beautiful Belle, 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 Belle. Do you still wanna Netflix and chill, 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 chill? We can watch Brokeback Mountain, that movie in a big ass fountain. My big beautiful Belle, Belle. Riding up and down that hill, hill, hill. And Hillary don't have to know about us. This some presidential, confidential ass love. My baby, beautiful Bill, Bill. This that love that can be killed, killed, killed. I wrote a special act in your name, passing this eternal back party sun flame. And I know you're a Democrat, I'm Republican, don't give a fuck about that. We were loving like Romeo and Juliet. West Side Story, baby, let's fake all that. We're together in these Epstein files. Presidential romance is still alive. Over this party, we were dancing. They saying boys can't stop advancing. You didn't have sexual relations with that woman. I know I was with you in a White House booming. Secret Service knocking while we were coolin', trying to be quiet when that big bill moved in. Hit up, it ain't you just feel it, it ain't suiting. You better always lie me down or we be coolin'. Hey, game stronger than a giraffe on that grueling. When you with Dino, you know that thing be drooling. Bill, 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 you got a license for that drill, drill, drill. Missing you, my Billy Willy, boo. My Billy boy, whoop-dee, snoop-dee, woo. Billy, 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 Willy, woo. Whoop-dee, Billy, Snoopy, whoop-dee, Snoopy, woo. Billy boy, I think I love you. Whoop-dee, woo, Snoopy, Billy, boo.
Marco.
Little Marco.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. He looks so good, frankly. So good. So huge. So hugely good. We're back. Thank you guys for being here yet again. Excited to have you. Real quick, let's pay some bills, shall we? Streamlabs link in the chat. Best way to donate. The lawsuit battles rage on. You love to see it. Tens of thousands of dollars that I've spent in the last year. Gonna take me years to pay off the legal debts. Yeah, you love to see it. Missiontomonetization.com. This actually has been booming way more than I expected, considering that I haven't really done much in terms of like promoting it or posting it aside from talking about it on streams. There we go. There's my proper mic. We had the wrong mic going. Love to see that. Professional YouTuber. Okay, it wasn't actually even that bad before. Missiontomonetization.com. I have the free workshop, hour-and-a-half long workshop, where I teach you everything I know about content creation, how to grow your content based off of building a real community of people who support what you're about, your passion or your interest or your conviction, not just making content that's going to go viral just for the sake of it, but really building a community of people who care. You know, you've seen me do it through talking about scams and MLMs and corruption. And, you know, because of that, the Goons are such a strong, supportive community. And, you know, you have something within you, chances are, that other people are also passionate about. It doesn't have to be something that's trying to change the world. It could be gardening. You know, I have one client who makes dresses, like high quality natural fiber dresses. I have another client that I'm about to start working with who makes pickles. Pickles. Yes, literally pickles. And so the things that I've learned you can apply to any business or any passion, interest, conviction. And I'm just so humbled by the amount of people that have been trusting me with, you know, with their strategies, I guess, trusting me to give them the right advice and to help build for them, literally, the websites, the Patreons, the merch stores, the digital offers, the social media strategies, on and on, that I'm doing for people over there. So that's missiontomonetization.com. The link is in the chat and in the description. You can go watch the workshop for free. And yeah, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, you know, go watch the workshop, steal the ideas that I give in the workshop, take them for free. And if you want my help, holla at me and you can book with me on missiontomonetization.com, which you love to see it. What's next? Well, let's just get straight into it, shall we? What up, everybody in the chat? Brandon C. Brandon C dropped a big bag after we went offline last stream, so thank you so much, Brandon C. You are a legend. It's truly because of the community that I'm still able to do this. So really, genuinely, it means a lot. And if we fill up this Dono goal of $50 billion, I'm going to do another stream as Patrick Bet-David with the PBD podcast background, because I have another funny idea for a Patrick Bet-David stream in light of all the recent, you know, negative press he's been getting. Jimmy Moon, what up? Yes, little Marco. Okay, let's start with this. We're going to throw it to the OG, Louis Rossmann. This is somebody who inspired me with the movement that he was leading the charge on his own channel, which of course was the right to repair movement. You know, if you buy something, you should own that thing. You should not be locked in through whatever mechanism to paying money to the company you bought it from in perpetuity. That goes for your iPhone. I should be able to, if I purchase this iPhone, I should be able to take it to any repair shop or buy the repair parts that I need for it myself and fix it, because I own this. Okay? I shouldn't have to, for a cracked screen, be quoted hundreds of dollars that only an Apple certified screen and an Apple certified repair person can do, at which point it makes it more actually cost effective or intriguing for me to just buy a brand new phone and keep the consumption flywheel spinning. I don't like that. If I'm a farmer and I use a John Deere tractor and it breaks down, obviously farming is time sensitive. I need to harvest crops now. I don't have time to put my John Deere trailer or tractor on a big trailer truck and ship it into the closest place where there's a certified John Deere technician, or God forbid, pay a certified John Deere technician to come out to look at my tractor, and I'm going to have to pay however much money for the service call just so that they can plug in their software locked USB key, which, that's the only thing really stopping it. It's digital firewalls and digital locks preventing farmers from actually doing repairs that you would expect a farmer to be able to do. And now this is applying to everything. There's fucking like sous vide machines and kitchen appliances that require a Wi-Fi connection or a Bluetooth connection and an account and an app and a subscription to be able to use it. This is nonsense. There's people who are subscribing to like garage door openers in their home. So think about how like South Park this is. You're paying money to access a door in the home that you already either own or rent. So you're renting the door within the home. So it's a rental within a rental within a rental, and we're just being subscriptionified to death, So let's hear Lewis talking about how Sony is now trying to do the same thing with their discs. And this video is called Sony Stole What You Purchased. Again, piracy is completely justified. Let me put my headphones on for this so that there's no audio bleeding into the microphone. And who is going to be the hero to get the Dono War of 2026 kicked off? Let's do it. Yeah, Louis Rossmann is the GOAT. I've been an admirer of his for many years now. So big shout out to Louis. Let me go output, USB advanced audio device, MIDI audio setup, MacBook Pro microphone, Mac Camlink 4K. Test, 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 test. Can I hear my own voice? Yes, there we go. Perfect. All right, here we are. Oh, is there no audio? What the fuck? Why? Restart capture?
Or your book.
Strange. Sorry about that, guys. I'll clip that out.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How Are You Getting Fucked? I'm your host, Louis Rossmann. Remember the video that I did about 3 years ago? Sony steals customers' purchase content, piracy is completely justified. That video was referring to a message that many people got from Sony. As of December 31st, 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. They're not saying that you're not going to be able to watch content on Netflix, where you're paying a monthly fee to be able to access and stream what they have. They said that what you had purchased that's in your library has been taken away from you. Imagine if you went to Barnes & Noble and you bought a bunch of books, and 5 or 10 years later, you walked into your house and you walked into the room that all your books were in, and you noticed that a bunch of them were missing from your bookshelf because Barnes & Noble took them back, but they never gave you a refund. That's not okay. And that's exactly what they did over here. The reason that they were doing this is because they didn't actually own the content that they were making available to you. Sony does not own the films and shows it sold to the store. Sony licenses them from the studios that produce them and has no ownership of that content. So let's get this straight. I have a house. Let's say I sell my house for $500,000 to you. Let's say 5 years later, somebody comes by and just takes the house from you and doesn't give you the money back, and the original owner doesn't give you the money back. And the reason they give is, well, that's actually my house, and the person who sold it to you had no right to sell it to you. In that arc of a story, how did somebody not commit a crime? Here, there was no crime committed. They were able to use the word purchase to describe what they were selling you, but they didn't say until page 26 in their terms of service, use of the terms own, ownership, purchase, sale, sold, sell, rent, or buy in this agreement or in connection with the content does not mean or imply any transfer of ownership of any content, data, or software, or any intellectual property rights. And they've actually done it again. So originally they took it back. About a few days later, they said, due to updated licensing arrangements, the discovery content removal plans is no longer occurring. We appreciate your ongoing support and feedback. It looked like they changed their mind. And yeah, LOL, JK. This is a message that many people got and have emailed me. As of September 1st, 2026, JK.
So hold on, let me get this straight. So they changed their mind about it. Updated licensing arrangements. Okay, so rather than fuck over the customers, they're like, I guess we'll renew the licensing.
We appreciate your ongoing support and feedback.
The heck?
It looked like they changed their mind. And yeah, LOL, JK. This is a message that many people got and have emailed me. As of September 1st, 2026, due to our content licensing arrangements, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Studio Canal content, and the content will be removed from your video library. Thank you, PlayStation Store. Play has no limits, even if the definition of own does. Yeah, no limits my balls, asshole. You guys have limited the definitions of the words sale, sold, purchase, own. Like, there's nothing that PlayStation does more than limit. I want you to think about what...
In my opinion, this should absolutely be illegal, because how is it not like deceptive or fraudulent toward the customers to change the definition, the widely understood colloquial definition of what the words buy, sell, purchase, etc. mean? I mean, yeah, I guess technically you could argue that those words could have other meanings. Like I can see the I guess reasoning behind saying that you purchased a subscription, but that doesn't mean that you own the thing you're subscribing to. Okay, I get it. But when it's a virtual store and something is being added to your library and it says you're buying it, and it doesn't explicitly, transparently say that you're basically just subscribing to this thing for a limited time, except for way down 20 however many pages into the agreement. I don't know. I just think that's not very nice. You know, I'm not going to say that it's illegal. Obviously, it's clearly not illegal if they were able to get away with it at such a scale. But I think it probably should be illegal because, you know, of course they can say, well, you should have read the agreement. You clicked the button that said, I agree to the terms. But I mean, come on. Does anyone actually if everyone took the time to read the actual agreements of every single app or website or product or service that has one of those pop-ups, I mean, would we ever consume anything again? Would we ever buy anything again? Would we ever have any time to do anything other than read TOS agreements ever again? Yeah, you know, fuck Sony for this, to be honest.
These companies have gotten mad about for the longest period of time. What they've gotten mad at is not piracy, it's copyright infringement. It's when you go onto BitTorrent or Usenet or Emule or an IRC DDC bot or SoulSeek and you download a copy of something from somebody else. I can't make a copy of this for myself because apparently I don't really own it. But they can make a copy of something that they don't own and sell it to me and take it away from me later. And that's okay. How is that any better than piracy? They're claiming that when you make a digital copy of this and you give it to somebody because you did not own the rights to it, that's bad. But they're allowed to sell something that they don't own the rights to, and then they're allowed to take it back from you. When you download a copy of a movie off of BitTorrent, the person that you downloaded it from has not profited from this. In my opinion, that is less immoral than what Sony did.
That's a great point. That's a great point. That it's actually so upside down now that in the rearview mirror, we all grew up with those ads. It's like you wouldn't download a car or whatever. The idea of actually pirating something, downloading it for free from the internet, is actually more morally permissible, one could argue, than what is going on here from these companies.
Because not only is Sony distributing something that does not belong to them, they are doing it for money. There's a reason that I say piracy is completely justified, because none of this makes any sense. You're not allowed to sell things that don't belong to you with the words sell, sold, or purchase. Like, just imagine this for a moment. Imagine that you have a library. My dad had a room in our house. It wasn't a real library, but he called it the library. It had four bookshelves of all the books that he had been collecting since he was a kid. Imagine you buy a book, and then 5 years later, that book that you purchased from Barnes & Noble is no longer there because somebody broke into your house and took it away. And imagine Barnes & Noble said, oh, LOL, sorry, we didn't actually have the rights to sell that to you, so we had to take it back. And then you say, well, A, you broke into my house, but forget about that for a moment. Can you give me my money back? And they say no. Piracy is completely justified at this point because we live in a world, we live in a legal system where this is legal, but taking a copy of my Black Mirror legally purchased Blu-ray and ripping it with this Pioneer BDR2213 so I can watch a high-resolution copy on my laptop on the plane when I'm flying away is not. Me being able to use...
As the saying goes, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing.
what I bought and paid for is illegal. I am breaking Section 1201 of the DMCA. The person who made the tool for this drive that allows me to break the encryption in this Blu-ray so I can rip a copy for personal use is somebody that could be sent to prison for 3 to 5 years. But the person who took the content that I legally paid for, thousands of dollars of stuff in my content library, out of my library, is just, that's a business model. No. This is fucking stupid. And there's a reason that I have these things, and I've had these things behind me on the desk for a long time. This box disappeared recently after I cleaned up.
Very similar analogy, I guess, that he's making, he's making an analogy. He's explaining something that I think you could analogize with multi-level marketing, right? A Ponzi scheme where you promise Peter that if he gives you $100 and waits for 3 months, you'll triple his money. And if he brings you Paul, you'll do the same thing for Paul, but really there's no product or service that's generating these profits of this investment. It's just the new funds from new people. If you get caught doing this, this is illegal. But if you run a company and call it multi-level marketing, where people are not just giving you the cash and hoping for a return, but upon giving you the cash, you're giving them some useless, cheaply mass-produced white label lotions and potions slop or insurance policy or protein shake or essential oil. Well, now all of a sudden, since they've purchased something and since you've sold something, it's no longer a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme because there's an actual exchange of value and goods. Never mind the fact that in probably every case, based on my experience and people I've talked to and based on my understanding, allegedly in my opinion, none of those people who bought those products that were a de facto or mandatory requirement of joining the MLM actually had a genuine consumer desire for that lotion or potion. They did it because it was an essential part of their recruitment process. There was no you join the company without buying a starter kit. There was no you join the company without buying an insurance policy, etc., etc. Thank you, Isaac, for the super chat. First of all, use Streamlabs because super chat takes 30%. But also, it's not my birthday. I don't know where you got that from. My birthday is March 15th, but I appreciate you regardless. Or are you saying happy birthday to me because it's Canada Day today and I'm Canadian? Oh, yeah. Big up Canada, I guess. Big up Canada. I'll play that, what's that Punjabi MC Jay-Z song? I'll play that to commemorate Canada Day here in a little bit when we're when we're done. But yeah, it's quite backwards. You get my point. What I'm talking about here. It's like if you, I mean, the thing that Lewis is talking about here is kind of even more egregious because they're not even like giving you something as an alternative, like in the MLM example where they're like, oh, but we're giving you a product. We're giving you a product. In this example, they're literally taking shit away from you. It's absolutely fantastical. I can't believe you've done this.
But I want to explain it a little bit. I have a lot of tools here that I use for things that many media companies don't like. I have the Silicon Dust HD Home Run. I've had it for almost 20 years now. You can use it to get DRM-free recordings. Picture perfect, no extra compression of over-the-air, high-definition television broadcasts, and I can record those broadcasts, which I have for a long time. I wanted to watch 24 and Prison Break, and I didn't want to deal with the low-resolution DVD. So I have this thing so that I could record high-definition copies, and I would share them with my friends at the time as a teenager. I have this BDR2213, which allows me to rip full 4K copies of my Blu-rays. However, I also pay for my Blu-rays. I pay for the content I find valuable, up to the point of having this in my collection. This is SUSE Linux 8.1. This is a Linux distribution. I paid, I don't know if the focus is going to work on this, I paid $79.99 in 2002 to buy this. I was a teenager. I was 13 years old when I purchased Linux. Most people that I knew don't even purchase Windows, and here I am paying for an open source operating system. When I find something valuable, when it respects my freedom, I am happy to pay the asking price. I want to show that when somebody provides me with value, I will provide them with that value in return. I am more than happy to pay for the things that I find valuable. What I am not willing to do is have you limit my freedom with bullshit restrictions and rip me off in this particular manner. The reason that it is so important that you be able to break a digital lock, the reason it is so important that I be able to break all the encryption on these Blu-rays and rip them, the reason that it is important that you be able to have the freedom to do these things is because when you don't, you have a company that can literally redefine what the word own means and then rip content from your library while having the balls to say that we have no limits.
Truly, truly Orwellian. Truly, truly like beyond doublespeak, you know? Beyond doublespeak. In the book 1984, if you haven't read it, I get it. I hate reading books as well. I'm ADHD. My eyes dart all over the page. I have to start the page over because my mind was wandering. Listen to the audiobook. Get the audiobook, whatever. I'm sure there's free versions of it that you could just listen to on YouTube. Listen to it while you're doing laundry or cooking or driving in the car, whatever. Listen to 1984. And in 1984, there's examples of how each year they simplify the English language with Newspeak. There's a Newspeak dictionary that comes out every year or whatever in the book, where instead of saying words like stupendous or excellent, they'll replace it and they'll say like it was double good, it was double plus good. So they're like turning language into like more, dumbed down caveman type speak, and they call it Newspeak. And I think it's funny in the book how they talk about how there's one example where they're listening to the announcements over the intercom, and the government is announcing how they're increasing the chocolate rations from like 5 grams to 10 grams. And everyone's celebrating at how generous the government is for increasing the rations. In actuality, what had happened was that the portion had been decreased from 15 grams to 10 grams. I don't know if I'm getting the exact grammage right here. I'm paraphrasing, but the sentiment is the same. They had actually reduced it, but they said they were increasing it, and everyone, even if they knew in their heart that they were being lied to, they still rejoiced and celebrated it because they were being good little worker bees for the government. And it's just truly astonishing, remarkable that in this example, you have the PlayStation Store emailing people saying you won't be able to watch any of your previously purchased. My understanding of the word purchase is that I own it. You will not be able to watch any of your previously purchased Studio Canal content, and the content will be removed from your video library. Thank you. Play has no limits. Oh. So what's the mantra of the government of Oceania in 1984? Freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, war is peace. You will no longer have access to your previously purchased content, and the content will be removed from your library. Play has no limits.
You have a fucking limit. If I can buy something from you in 2021 with the word purchase, and you can take it away from me without refunding me my money in 2026, that's a fucking limit, Sony. And you shouldn't be allowed to do that. But at the very least, if you're going to be allowed to do that shit, I should be allowed to pirate your shit. Seriously. If this happened to any of you, and you go on BitTorrent or Usenet or Emule, and you get a copy of whatever it is they took away from you, from somebody who ripped a perfectly lossless copy with one of these devices, you should be able to.
In the chat, Jimmy Chungus says, now I wonder if I should have gotten Plex Lifetime Pass before they jacked up the price. Keep in mind, if they can change the definition of what the word buy, purchase, own, etc. means, what makes you think they can't change what the meaning of lifetime means? Appreciate you, Isaac. Thank you so much. You're a legend. Really, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Isaac, big up Isaac, everybody. So let me look. Sony, terms of service. Sony, I guess, Plex, terms of service. Okay, here's Plex. I'm actually going to pull this up and see if that's correct. If the term lifetime in Plex, lifetime, let's find the word. Terms. Ooh, this is, okay. Whoops. Purchase. buy, own. Maybe it's in the TOS. I'm in the terms. Let's go to trademarks, or could it be subscriptions and rentals? Own. Plex owns anything. Okay, how about lifetime? If I search lifetime, no, not there. How about if I search subscription and rentals? Lifetime. Let me. I'm actually curious about this. I'm actually curious. Sony Plex lifetime pass terms. For 749 USD. Okay, let's see. So this is the site. Lifetime. Let's see what the actual definition of lifetime is. Is the Sony Plex lifetime pass actually for a lifetime? I'm literally just going to Google that and see, because I have my suspicions based on this. Apparently, okay, here, the AI summary says, yes, Plex is actually for a lifetime. However, lifetime applies to the lifespan of the software and platform, not the physical lifespan of the purchaser. So if they decide perhaps one day to switch over to like a different platform or service, then it wouldn't apply anymore. I see.
There's a reason that it is important that you be able to break digital locks, because content providers have broken the social contract time and time and time and time again. Something is seriously wrong if we live in a society where me ripping a copy of my legally owned Blu-ray is illegal, but them stealing your content is not. That's crazy. A lot of you have emailed me with this issue, and I appreciate it. But I would appreciate even more than that is if you would go to consumerrights.wiki while you're writing that email and create an article. We're trying to create the best centralized database that is open source that anybody can contribute. You can make law articles here without even logging in, that goes over every single time a company has tried to revoke ownership or change the terms of the sale after the sale in this way. My nonprofit is going to be fighting for ownership. We're working to reform anti-ownership laws in the United States, and we're working to ensure that stuff like this just doesn't go this way. We're going to have some signature
Lewis is truly a hero, bro.
pieces of legislation that we're hoping to get pushed later this year.
This guy is a true American, pushing for true American values of like freedom and justice and personal property. Not the America of today, where the America of today seems to be this like almost everything is being cartelified, where rather than actually pursuing innovation, they're doing shit like the Phoebus Cartel back 100 years ago. Phoebus Cartel. I'll pull it up so that my babies know what I'm talking about here. And I'll give you a little history lesson. Phoebus Cartel, a mid-1920s international corporate coalition of leading light bulb manufacturers, including Osram, Philips, and GE. You might have heard of those two. Infamous for establishing a maximum 1,000-hour lifespan for incandescent light bulbs. It is widely considered the earliest and most famous documented case of intentional planned obsolescence. Basically, there was a secret meeting in 1924, over 100 years ago, where the businessmen got together in Geneva and they carved up the incandescent light bulb market. And because what happened was they had already figured out how to develop the filament inside of the bulb in such a way that it would last, as it says here, upwards of 2,500 hours. Well, that's not good, because if people's light bulbs last forever, you're not going to sell very many light bulbs. So they needed to shorten the lifespan so that people would have to buy light bulbs more frequently. To artificially boost sales, members forced engineers to redesign light bulbs and mandated their lifespans be capped at 1,000 hours. They set up rigorous testing procedures and levied heavy financial penalties against any manufacturer whose bulbs consistently outlasted the 1,000-hour limit. So now, imagine, I mean, this is how societies die, of bloat and corruption. Because rather than continuing to pursue innovation and see how far they could push technology further, they went, you know what? Rather than doing that, why don't we just make sure no one can ever compete with us and monopolize what we have now by limiting the innovation, purposely stifling the innovation just to make sure we get the biggest share. And fuck all the money that we would have otherwise put into like development and research to make the tech better so that we can compete better. We're already here at the top of the mountain. We don't want somebody to come surpass us. We don't want to see that there's higher to go on the mountain. There's another summit that some genius is going to invent a better, brighter, longer lasting, higher quality, safer light bulb. So instead, we'll just agree to, work together. And this is what monopolies do. If you're coming up with a competitive or disruptive product or service or business model, they'll just buy you out. They'll just buy you out. They'll buy all your stock. They'll do a hostile takeover. They'll offer you an amount of money you can't say no to, and they'll put it on the shelf, or they'll just absorb it into their already, into their tentacles. So, somebody left a great comment recently on one of my videos where they said, I always try to describe it as lemonade stand capitalism versus what we have today. If I go start a lemonade stand, I have my lemons and my sugar and my sign and whatever, and I'm selling lemonade, and you come along and you start selling pink lemonade and it's all the rage. That's an example of capitalism that I like. You were out there dealing with the mosquitoes and the hot sun and the whatever, and you competed with me. Even if I had started sooner and was able to open up 3 lemonade stands, by the time you opened up your first one, well, you came in with a new thing, a new product, a twist on lemonade that you were able to, steal market share away, rather than me actually trying to compete with you and invent the next thing, which is like, I don't know, blue raspberry lemonade or lemonade mixed with iced tea, Arnold Palmer, whatever. Instead of doing that or trying to compete with you on price or quality or anything like that, I just come and buy up your lemonade stand, or even worse, assassinate the opposing lemonade stand competitor and, smash their lemonade stand when their back is turned or when they go to the bathroom or something. That's like crony capitalism. I have no problem with like the genuine capitalism, but we're so far gone beyond that. And this is why you see, countries like China innovating way beyond the US. I'll show you the China rail spend last decade. What China was able to achieve with their spend on rail, like high-speed rail, trillion, let me find it, is comparable to what the US spent on their military in the last 10 years, destabilizing shit and just pointing a gun at the rest of the world, basically. Here it is. I think I found it. While China spends $8 trillion on wars, China builds highways to the future. This one doesn't have the picture, unfortunately. I'm looking for the picture. Oh, here, I think this is it. No way I found it this quick.
In the Middle East, and this is what China spent for. America spent $4 trillion in the Middle East, and this is what China spent $4 trillion on. The world's largest high-speed rail system at 50,000 kilometers. The massive Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest hydropower dam. 200 new airports. The world's largest 5G network with more towers than the rest of the world combined. Over 40 million units of affordable housing housing 100 million low-income residents. Built the longest 50-kilometer bridge over water. Built the world's most nuclear reactors generating 23,000 megawatts of energy. Built the world's most advanced electrical grid. The entire Belt and Road project, ports, railways, and roads in over 140 countries. Over 2 billion solar panels, including the world's largest solar farm.
Wow.
Built a fully operational space station, landed a rover on Mars, and became the first country to receive samples from the far side of the moon. A 2,700-mile canal system, the largest water diversion project ever built. Xialan, an entire high-tech city built from scratch. 7,700 offshore wind turbines generating 50% of the world's wind power. The Green Great Wall, which planted over 70 billion trees. And China built 7 of the world's top 10 busiest ports. It's kind of amazing what you can build for $4 trillion instead of spending it on war.
No fucking shit. Big up to that post. I look at the comments. I've seen enough. Send another 200 billion to Israel. The cost of war in Afghanistan would have given Medicare for all Americans for over 20 years. Bombaklat. Too bad U.S. government is owned by some, what is that, the Greek flag? I don't know what that is. Israel, I love you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Have y'all seen that song? Hilarious. It's like a kid's. But capitalism is the best thing invented ever. Who cares about social projects? We need more billionaires and trillionaires so they can keep selling us the American dream. Yeah, but America won FIFA Peace Prize. Hilarious.
Rob V 2026
Rob, pull up
donated
the
10
donation
Canadian
from
dollars.
Rob.
U.S. foreign policy will ultimately be the fall of the empire as it was in Rome.
Type shit. Type shit for real. Yeah, I mean, how long are, what do they say? Societies last 250 years? Let's check this out. This is also to do with the Louis Rossmann thing.
On December 4th of 2024, a man by the name of Luigi Mangione allegedly shot and killed the CEO of United Healthcare. Why'd he do it? Allegedly, they found a manifesto in McDonald's that claimed he was tired of the corporate greed. He was tired of the inner workings of the insurance system. You want to know something interesting that they found out? The man didn't even have United Insurance. Allegedly, he had Aetna. Proves that if he did do it, he wasn't tired of United Healthcare specifically. He was tired of the entire system. A system that told him, you have a choice. But the decisions, they are already made. You see, monopolies aren't just bad because they corner a market. Sometimes they're bad because they can corner a market that you're already stuck in. Now, Sony has just revealed that it's no longer moving forward with its physical copies of games. And to be honest with y'all, I know you're not going to like it. I get it. I get why they're doing it. It's the evolution of gaming. It's like when iPhone got rid of that headphone jack, they knew where the industry was going. So I get it. And games are getting too big for disc anyways. So my problem isn't with that. It's with the ownership. Yeah, when I brought a physical copy of that game, I owned it. I can play it here, I can play it there, I can play it anywhere. Dr. Seuss. But when I buy a digital copy of that game, I don't own it. I own a license to play that game. So when it's no longer in the system, no longer in their servers, I lose that game, even though I paid for it. It's like what's happening now with those 500 movies they removed from their servers. But a lot of people are going to say, why don't you just move to another system like Xbox or Nintendo? But you got to understand, I spent so much time invested in this one system. I paid for it. I got the controllers. I invested all the time into these games and these exclusives. And now they're taking away the only thing that matters after I buy their system. It remind you of anything? You see, HP doesn't care that I own the printer because I got to use their ink. My security system don't care that I own the hardware because they own the servers and the systems that make that thing even work. My car has the option to drive itself and to heat up the back seat. But you know, you got to have a subscription for that. You can't fix what you don't own, you can't access locally what's in the cloud, and you can't have what you're not subscribed to, even if you own it. You got a choice, but not really. It's like insurance. You get to choose your insurance provider, but in the end, they choose what doctors you can see. They choose what medication you're allowed to have, and they choose what procedures they deem to be necessary for your health. Ain't that something? Anyways, in the famous words of Ida Alkin, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. Because of course you have a choice. But I need you to think about who's choosing the choices that you are left to choose from. That's it. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't, stay out of trouble.
Let's eat Popeyes. Why is the scene not changing? Where's my scene? There we go, for fuck's sake. Back to watching porn. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence that my most viewed piece of content that I've ever posted was this YouTube short here called Nintendo Are You Okay? 2.5 million Bumba Pussy Rasclat views in 8 months.
The game section, and I came to buy Super Mario Galaxy for my nieces. They released it on Nintendo Switch. I remember playing it on Nintendo Wii when I was a kid, and I wanted them to be able to experience it as well. Look at this. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, $100, dude. I literally asked the girl working in that section to check the price for me because there's no way it could be that much for two games that came out more than 15 years ago. Super Mario Galaxy came out in 2007, and the second one came out in 2010. Genuinely, how do you justify charging $100, $50 per game for two games that came out more than 15 years ago? I've never seen anything like that. It might be the most like anti-consumer thing I've ever seen, which is saying a lot because most of my content is about multi-level marketing scams, which are like the most anti-consumer thing ever. I'm not even mad at Nintendo for like taking a property that people like and trying to make money off of it on a new console, because I'm sure there are costs associated with like porting it over and printing out new copies and whatever. But like the game is already done, right? So how do you get to this price of $100? I ended up not buying the game on principle, not even because of the money. If I had $1 million in my bank account, I don't think I'd be able to justify spending $100 for two games that came out more than 15 years ago. I'm in Walmart right now in the...
And how did I solve the... Sorry. One more thing. What makes this worse is you don't actually own the software when you pay that $100 for those nearly 2-decade-old games. You get a revocable, non-exclusive license. So let's say I pissed off Nintendo with that video. They can go, I'm assuming that they can revoke, meaning they could block my access to playing that game that I've now paid $100 for. The little game chip is actually just like a license key. It's not actually the game, okay? And this is what you have to do. I know it's easier said than done when people say vote with your wallet. In this case, the way I was able to vote with my wallet and still get what I wanted was I posted this video. I spoke out about it. And guess what happened? A friend of mine who I know from the gym, actually I've known him for years. We went to high school together. Shout out to my friend Callum. He had a copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which was a bundle that had come out like, I don't know, years earlier, which contained the games Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy all on one thing. They stopped selling this game because, of course they did. You know, they could split up the games more and sell each of these as a re-release for $80 on its own rather than selling it as a bundle. So he had multiple copies of this unopened that he happened to have purchased a few years earlier, and he messaged me and was like, I will sell you one of my copies for the original sticker price from however many years ago, instead of you going and buying the Super Mario Galaxy bundle for $100 that you don't actually own. And so that's what I did. So rather than me giving money to Nintendo, I bought it secondhand. You know, there's ways, bro. Technology has now somehow gotten to a point where it's like worse. It's making things worse somehow. I was actually talking to somebody recently. What did I say? Technology. Who was I saying this to recently? Technology. I want to find the message so I can see what I was talking about. I can't fucking find it. But anywho, it's just becoming more of an inconvenience in a lot of situations, which I don't like. Somebody some private account who has 125 followers, who I don't recognize from a fucking hole in the wall, sends me a DM request. They followed me in October 2025. Let's see I'm going to the shared activity right now. How many? They've made 0 comments on any of my posts. Wait till I tell you what this message says. You want to know what the message says? I'll tell you what it says. Oh, whoops. Failed to see. Oh, liked by them. Let's see. Okay, they've liked 4, 8, 12. They've liked 13 posts. Okay. They DM me the balls of some people. This is a stranger. I don't know who this is. They DM me and say, follow me back, you pleb. Watch me block this person right now. Block. Just for that. Just for that. Who the fuck are you? You know? Anyways, thank you so much to Rob V 2026 yet again. Rob in the chat says, I bet you $50 billion that the couple that climbed to the top of the Empire State Building wrote PBD a letter just like Luigi. Yeah, type shit. Type shit. Wow, crazy. You know what's crazy? When people DM me, bro, people will comment on a post or multiple posts publicly being like, check DM, and then they'll go to another post, check DM, which is already my blood is boiling, right? And then I go to the DM, and you know what it says? It'll be like, yo, bro, or it'll be like, what's your number? Huh? What do you mean, what's my number? Or people will be like, can we get on a call sometime? And sometimes I'll say yes, depending on what it's about. And they'll be like, cool, text me. No, we're already here on a platform where we've already made contact. Like, we could just do the call on here, no? Why do you want my number so badly? Same thing with girls on dating apps. This happened to me recently. I try to stay off the dating apps, and then once in a while I'll go on it just to be like, I wonder what the market is saying. And I'll go on there, and sometimes I'll match with a girl, and immediately she's trying to take it off the app and text, or like go to WhatsApp or something. And I'm like, it's always suspicious, but here's what I've learned. If a girl is trying to get you off the app right away, she's selling it. Cause this happened to me recently. The girl's like, what's your number? So I gave her the number. We get off the app, and she's like, want to buy my nudes? I'm 30 years old. I don't know what you think this is. Do I look like I need to buy your nudes? You know what? Even if I wasn't already doing just fine in that department, don't worry about me. I would never purchase that on principle. Why would you purchase it? It's free. If you really want to do that, I don't recommend, setting your eyes upon that type of haram. But if you really wanted to, why the hell would I pay you? You must got me messed up. You must got it twisted. I'm insulted, actually. Anyways, so thank you, Rob V 2026, sorry. Are you against the stock market, says Parsa. I don't know what you mean by that. All the doomers who are waiting for America's fall are a bunch of losers who got nothing going on with their life. Hard truth. I mean, yeah, don't just sit around and wait for it. Still try to do good. But I don't know what your point is. Are you... like, surely you don't think that it's one or the other, that you're either a doomer waiting for America's fall, or you're not okay with shit like what Lewis is talking about in the video. Like, surely you can be, you can recognize that both are whack, right? Happy Canada Day, whatever that means nowadays. It means somebody who doesn't speak English just got their student visa and a job at Tim Hortons. What up, Monsoon the Goon? Hey, Starla Marie got a job offer today. Hey, let's go. Quit playing with Starla Marie. Goon Tax loading. Let's do it. John DePina, what up? Do I ever use my ex account? Rarely. Barely. Between TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I've got my hands full.
And what we need is when the opposition lobbyists show up and say this is a problem that doesn't exist, they're making it up. I want to be able to put on their desk the equivalent of stacks of phone books just filled with every single instance of the very companies that they represent taking part in this anti-consumer, anti-ownership bullshit. Don't let yourself be gaslit. Most people are actually willing to pay for the things that they find valuable, but they don't want to pay for this. And we've learned over 30 years into this that this is not a working business model.
Unfortunately, at least in some areas, our policies haven't worked out too well. Our attempts at copyright control, at least thus far, have not been successful. But I don't just blame teenagers and college students. I really blame the moguls in the music industry, because had they been thinking about these business models when we were doing our work in 1994 in the Clinton administration, had they been developing effective online distribution models when the internet first came into business, had they been talking to Steve Case when AOL first started to become a big deal, and really seriously developing an online business model, perhaps we would not be in the situation that we are. But the culture of that industry was such that, those people were concerned principally with and their talents were developing talent, understanding public taste. They didn't know anything about distribution or technology or anything like that. Minions dealt with that. Well, their industry has paid the price. Hopefully there's not any, I won't be quoted in the U.S., but I'm afraid our Clinton administration policies didn't work out very well. Now, a lot of people accused me at the time of doing an end run around Congress and everybody else by negotiating these treaties and then coming back and saying, well, we have, because we submitted this to Congress before the treaties process was completed, then coming back and saying, well, now you have to do this, Congress, because we've agreed to a treaty. And I would say that they're probably right, that it was an end run and it was partly deliberate. And the final statute that comes out, was a guy who was the head of then the biggest record company in the world, Warner Records, and he was a very nice guy. And he wrote a book a few years later after he retired and confirmed what I always thought to be the case about record industry executives. Record industry executives are impresarios. And the most successful record industry executives, I would characterize as a 45-year-old man who can think like a 17-year-old girl and likes to hang out at 3 o'clock in the morning and do drugs with rock stars. And he basically admitted to all of that in his book that he wrote several years later. Unfortunately, that is not a mindset, a part of the brain that does very well at evolving new business models for highly complex technologies.
All of this needs reform, and we're going to be working to do that piece by piece by piece. We're not going to get everything that we want immediately, but I'm going to be working to chip away at the most unfair parts of these laws as often as I can. And when the time comes when we have a piece of legislation introduced, I hope that you will be open to working with us to make it happen. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. Actually, before I end it, this is a Sony camcorder. I got it fixed recently. And I really thought this was being petty, but I had an issue with the lens and I had an issue with this thing after some physical damage. And what I know, there's a button over here. I don't even use this button, but what I noticed is that every other way that you press the button, it automatically returns to where it was. But when you press it down, it doesn't return to the center anymore. And it didn't do that before I sent it off. And it's just one of these things where I'm a repair company. I've been on the other end of this doesn't like this before you touched it so many times. I just wasn't going to be the dude that was going to do that to another repair company. I don't have it in me to be a customer. They gave me the wrong quote. It took them a week to relook at the device to give me a quote for what I originally asked for. They said 3 times that they never even received it when they did. I felt bad about complaining about that. I felt bad about filing a chargeback. Fuck that. I'm filing a chargeback on Sony today. You revoked ownership from tens of thousands of people. You sold stuff you don't even own. I'll file a chargeback for you messing up the button on my camcorder. Completely unrelated to the topic of the video.
Literally told Bibi Netanyahu.
Shout out to Louis Rossmann, of course. You guys saw that what popped up on my watch next was Candace Owens and Norman Finkelstein. I've seen this interview before, and I'm watching it again because Norman Finkelstein is actually coming to Edmonton in 10 days for a speaking engagement. And I reached out to him over email to see if I would be able to do an interview with him. I've been an admirer of Norman Finkelstein and his work since 2024 when I first discovered him. Actually, my first exposure to Norman Finkelstein was the video where he's mispronouncing Destiny's name on the debate with Destiny, where he's like, Mr. Bonelli, Mr. Bonelli, Mr. Borelli, and it became kind of a meme. And from there, I was recommended his book called The Holocaust Industry. And I listened to that audiobook on the plane coming back from Bangkok to Canada. And it was just I've never listened to an audiobook straight through. And it was, I think, I put it on 1.2x speed and I listened to it in maybe 5 hours on the plane. And it was just such a, I don't know, paradigm shattering book that as soon as I landed in Vancouver, and I was staying there for a couple of days, I woke up the next day and I went and walked around. I went for a little walk downtown Vancouver and I listened to it again. And I think I've listened to it 3 or 4 times in total since. And aside from that, I've gone and watched every interview of his that I could find, every debate of his that I could find. And I've just been such an admirer of him and his work and his bravery, speaking out about something that I am ashamed to say I didn't know anything about, and it's a part of my history. I didn't realize that even my own existence, being born in Canada is because of my parents immigrating to Canada amidst the Israeli-Lebanon War of 1982. And that led to them coming here. And then there's a movie called The Lebanese Burger Mafia, which is made by another Lebanese guy who's actually from Edmonton, who made this movie, this documentary about how the Lebanese people that came from Lebanon to specifically Edmonton started up these restaurants called Burger Baron. And his father, the guy who made the movie, his father was a Burger Baron owner. My dad, I found out, was a Burger Baron owner. And Burger Baron was like this fast food restaurant that was the vehicle that allowed these Lebanese immigrants to come to Canada and make money during a time when you could still make money doing something like that, a startup fast food restaurant flipping burgers and selling French fries in order to provide your children a future in Canada. And I knew nothing growing up about Israel, about the Middle East conflict, about anything. And so to learn from arguably the most knowledgeable academic, person with an encyclopedic knowledge of the history of Israel and Palestine, and it would be such an honor to be able to talk to him and meet him. And I will meet him when he comes here in 10 days. I'm very excited to meet him and just shake his hand and say thank you, because his work has helped me to understand my own heritage as well. But he emailed me back yesterday, actually. And it was one of those sort of surreal moments where I felt it one time before in 2023. I had emailed Harry Markopolos, who, if you don't know Harry Markopolos, he is the guy who is widely credited with catching Bernie Madoff for the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. And this is him. He has a book called No One Would Listen. This is his book right here. He's Greek, and he details in the book, which I highly recommend. He details in the book how he had made several reports to the SEC explaining that Bernie Madoff's results were literally impossible, that nobody had ever achieved it before, that there was various red flags, that he had just been simply running a Ponzi scheme. There was a whole movie made about it, like a documentary movie made about it, about Harry Markopolos' investigation and his attempts to find justice. There's been actual movies made, like The Wizard of Lies, starring Robert De Niro, where Robert De Niro plays Bernie Madoff. And this is a great movie as well. And there was even the Madoff TV series. I think it was an HBO TV series, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And I remember I reached out to Harry Markopolos for an interview in 2023, and he was very respectful and kind, but he declined it. But even just hearing back from him was like, wow, damn, this guy's like, this guy's one of the GOATs. And then with Norman Finkelstein, I heard a reply from him yesterday. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. I really do hope that it does happen. And anyways, that's the explanation for why that's popping up there. JNNX in the chat says, I hope you wake up and realize AI is part of the corruption and scam. I don't know if that's directed to me. If it is, I don't know where you got the impression that I wasn't woken up yet about that. Obviously, I know that. Maybe if it's to the audience, then okay. Also, thank you, Robert, in the chat. Robert dropping the bag. Let's see. Robert Castaneda says, good evening. Why do you think the U.S. is so obsessed with World War II movies, games, etc.? By the way, fuck PBD. Thank you. Well, we know why the U.S. is so obsessed with World War II movies, games, etc. And I'm guessing that you commented that as a response to me talking about Norman Finkelstein here and his book, The Holocaust Industry. Norman Finkelstein, as you could probably guess by his name, is Jewish. And in the opening moments of The Holocaust Industry, the book, which I'll pull up for you now, he explains how, in his view, there is two Holocausts. There was one that he refers to as the Nazi Holocaust, which was the extermination of, various peoples, amongst them Jewish people. And then there is the Holocaust, which he refers to as the sort of media industry, books, movies, documentaries, museums, tours, etc., that are, as he says, an exploitation of Jewish suffering. This is the original cover of the book. Norman Finkelstein, The Holocaust Industry, Reflections on the Exploitation of Jewish Suffering. And he goes on in the book to explain how stories about the Holocaust and the Nazis and the camps and suffering in certain instances, according to him in the book, and he cites all of his sources and studies and is very, very thorough. And as far as I know, his in the foreword of the book from the latest edition that I listened to, which was this one, nobody had ever been able to successfully debunk his claims. They all call him a self-hating Jew or a, whatever, but nobody's ever been able to call him a liar, as far as I understand. And he talks about how a lot of the stories were either embellished or completely made up in order to create a financial industry that serves what he calls the billionaire Jewish elite class. And again, I think if it weren't for the fact that he himself was Jewish, if it weren't for the fact that he himself had lost family members during the events of World War II, that he would have never been able to continue on in talking about this topic. But he's also as far as I know, the world's leading expert when it comes to Palestine, Gaza, the Israel-Palestine conflict. He has a book called Gaza, An Inquest into Its Martyrdom, and that is what I will be going to see him speak about in 10 days when he comes to Edmonton. He's doing a short Canadian speaking tour. And so yeah, if you're in Edmonton and you're there, I'll be there. Yeah, very excited about that. We'll be honored to meet him and just shake his hand and say thanks. Yeah, highly recommend. Let me read your guys' comments here. Have I heard about by the way, thumbs up the ting. Did I say it this stream yet?
Thumbs up the ting.
Did I say it? I don't know if I did. Congrats, Starla Marie. Do I ever use X? No. Have I heard about the province that some Albertans are seeking separation to become the 51st state? Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Parsa says, I was reacting to what you were discussing. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a doomer. I'm just shining a light on what I think is important to talk about, things that are bad. Finkelstein, that sounds like one of your favorite types of people, says Plain Decoded. It's funny that some of the people in my life that I look up to as heroes and hold the most reverence for are Jewish. Norman Finkelstein, Drake, Amy Winehouse is one of my favorite singers. Even Louis Rossmann, who we just reacted to, I'm pretty sure, based on his name, is Jewish. Is Louis Rossmann Jewish? There's no public record for Louis Rossmann that he is Jewish, but the surname Rossmann has Jewish Ashkenazi roots. He's not publicly discussed his religious background or ethnicity. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's Jewish, but anywho, it doesn't matter if he is or he isn't. Norman's got to be listened to on 1.5x speed. Yeah, at least. I saw a funny comment on the debate between Norman Finkelstein and debate. I saw a debate between the debate between Norman. I mean, he's bodied everyone you can think of who's like a Zionist Israeli shill. Rabbi Shmuley, Alan Dershowitz. He just eviscerates these people in debates, and to his own peril, largely. He did a debate infamously in, I think, 2003, where he exposed, if my recollection is correct, exposed that some of Alan Dershowitz's work was plagiarism and was plagiarized. And because of this, Alan Dershowitz was a very wealthy and well-connected and well-respected Harvard law professor, basically went on a public campaign to see that Norman Finkelstein was denied tenure at the university he was teaching at, and from that point on was practically unable to find work and worked as a adjunct professor, which is basically a temporary fill-in professor. He never actually had secure employment because of that. And they did a follow-up debate 2 years ago, which of course Norman Finkelstein and his infinite patience and wisdom just bodies these folks. This is the clip that you might know him from.
Your name, please?
Stephen Bonnell.
Okay. Mr. Bonnell, I'm a lot more literate than you, Mr. Borelli.
I'm going to believe that's not controversial.
Mr. Bonnell.
Literally,
Mr.
you
Borelli,
you can
Mr.
Google
Borelli,
it.
with all
Mr.
due
Finkelstein.
respect, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language. With all due respect, Mr. Bonnell, to see the misrepresentations that Mr. Bonnell...
He just keeps calling him different variations of his name, but it's a funny video. But there's a comment on that video that's like, this is the first time in a video I've had to use the 1x, 1.25x, 1.5x, and 2x speed features because Norman Finkelstein talks so slow, you got to speed it up. Destiny talks so fast, you got to slow it down. Yeah. Top 10 Norman Finkelstein thug life moments. I mean, we got to add that to the watch later. You also might know him from this famous clip here where he says, "I will not condemn." Where is it?
Go ahead.
Hi. During your speech, you made a lot of references to Jewish people, as well as certain people in your audience, not Jewish people in general, but certain people, especially in your audience, to Nazis. Now, that is extremely offensive when certain people are German, and they're also extremely offensive to people who've actually suffered under Nazi rule.
I don't respect that anymore. I really don't. I don't like and I don't respect the crocodile tears the crocodile tears. No. I'm sorry, folks. Allow me to finish, and allow me to finish. Listen, sir, allow me to finish. Sir, I don't like to play before an audience the Holocaust card. But since now I feel compelled to. My late father was in Auschwitz. My late mother, please shut up. My late father was in Auschwitz. My late mother was in Majdanek concentration camp. Every single member of my family on my father's side.
The Jews did not take arms against the
My late father was in Auschwitz concentration camp. My late mother was in Majdanek concentration camp. Every single member of my family on both sides was exterminated. Both of my parents were in the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. And it's precisely and exactly because of the lessons my parents taught me and my two siblings that I will not be silent when Israel commits its crimes against the Palestinians. And I consider nothing more despicable than to use their suffering and their martyrdom to try to justify the torture, the brutalization, the demolition of homes that Israel daily commits against the Palestinians. So I refuse any longer to be intimidated or browbeaten by the tears. If you had any heart in you, you would be crying for the Palestinians, not for what's inside.
Anyways, big shout out Norman Finkelstein. Eager to meet him. Let me read some more of your comments here. Plain Decoded says his whole family was his extended family, his aunts and uncles and his grandparents, not his mom and dad. What up, Hopi Nay? John Reardon says, Marco, speaking of doublespeak, did you read Robert Fitzpatrick's new article on his website called "How a Vocabulary of Fraud Protects MLM and Disempowers MLM"? Let me look. I get email notifications when Robert publishes a new article, and I don't recall one recently, but so if it's the one that I'm thinking of, June 21st, I believe I have read this one. Yes, I have. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, if I type the word crypto, yes, okay. So I do believe I read this one. I do believe I did. Is this where he's explaining how like gambling has been rebranded to prediction markets and Ponzi's have been rebranded to cryptocurrency and so on and so on? But I don't recall David Breer being mentioned in that one, and he is in this one. So maybe I haven't read this. I'll check it out. Maybe we should check that out together here. Harry Markopoulos's book is fantastic. Yes, it is. Rob V says, your take on immigration you had the other day was really solid. Was that when I was talking about Patrick Bet-David being like a leech on society because, and then flipping? We're having high-level conversation in our emails. Yes, we were. He's coming to Canada and he talks like that. You can get arrested for that. He'll be fine. Didn't Bernie Madoff, didn't PBD invite Bernie Madoff to his vault conference? I don't know. Bernie Madoff's been dead a long time. H plus G says, I love that video, Marco. Mr. Vermicelli. That's hilarious. His accent is strong, yes. John Reardon says, I got his email. Nice. His whole family he stands on the correct side. True, yes. I feel sorry for these students who are brainwashed. I mean, it still continues. It still continues. And, one question I wanted to ask him is like, he was basically deplatformed and blocked from being able to become a tenured professor because of his work going up against a very powerful Jewish person, Alan Dershowitz. And when it comes to like speaking out about and exposing powerful, institutional powers and paying the price for it, I relate to that. The lawfare that I'm going through, the attempts to smear me and sue me into oblivion and bankrupt me through the legal process and deplatform me and, take away my Patreon, which has happened. And among other things, yes, Dershowitz represented Epstein. He also represented, I believe, O.J. Simpson. He also represented Mike Tyson, all for similar. Anyways, I wanted to ask him, like you went through basically years of not being able to have steady employment, not being able to make money, as well as
Go ahead.
He talks about how up until like October 6th of 2023, the topic of Gaza wasn't even in the news. And he said that he regrettably wrote in the last book that he had published before he decided to stop talking about Gaza. He said that in one interview that he had included a thing in the back of the book saying, nobody seems to care about this topic. Maybe one day somebody will brush the dust off of this book and people will learn about what happened and they will care. But as of right now, the Western world and the world at large doesn't care. Israel has been too successful with their propaganda and nobody knows and nobody cares. And then all of a sudden, October 7th happened and this made it a global topic. And now, of course, we have seen the support for Israel crater. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I was somebody who has been staunchly against Israel for years. I had no position prior to 2023 because I knew nothing about it, which I'm also shameful about, because I would think that my relatives would tell me, my relatives who only came to this country because of Israel's bombing and conflict in Lebanon, I would think they would have told me more about my history, but I just never knew. And one question I wanted to ask Norman was like, after writing about Gaza for 15 plus years, after not being able to find work because of going up against Alan Dershowitz, how did you continue on? Because it is a struggle for me. Not at all to the same. I'm not trying to make the same comparisons between like the harm that MLM does or what he's been through, but it's it's spiritually taxing to know that you're in the right, to know that you're helping people, to know that what you're saying about MLM is true, and yet it's still legal, it's still endorsed by celebrities. You know, right now the World Cup is going on. There couldn't be a bigger peak for talking about, you know, Ronaldo and Messi. You know, Messi was just in a freaking Spider-Man promotional commercial.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be nuts. But we have to get there before the rush, okay? Shut up. No, not you. I gotta go.
This is hilarious. I just imagine Messi getting like $10 million to do this, and look at his role.
You're Messi.
Yeah, kid, he knows.
See?
There's his first line. See?
What are you doing here? Spider-Man. The
Spider-Man.
Spidey tracker? Wait, are you looking for Spider-Man? See?
See?
Just wait here, okay?
See, Spider-Man, see?
Welcome to New York.
Hey, I heard you were looking for me.
See?
You good with heights?
¿Cómo?
Como. See, Spider-Man, see, como. That'll be $10 million.
We gave him the money, boom.
Anyways, my point is that there's never been a more like topical time to be talking about like Ronaldo. And who's Herbalife's biggest spokesperson? Ronaldo. You know? Cristiano Ronaldo. And so it's tough when you know that the emperor has no clothes. It's tough when you know that there's a big conspiracy to call something nefarious by a name other than what it actually is or what describes it. And to still go on, it's, I don't know. That was something I wanted to ask him, is like, how did you push through? How do you go on? You know? Because he's somebody I look up to for sure, you know, like him, Robert Fitzpatrick, Norman Finkelstein, and Robert Fitzpatrick. I think they're the same age. Robert Fitzpatrick is like the Ben Kenobi to me, and I feel like, you know, Norman Finkelstein is as well in a way. Obviously, Robert more, because I've done way more work talking about MLM than talking about Israel and, you know, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like we would relate on a lot. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was, if you search Trump FTC, okay, this is fucking insane. This is an article from Reuters, okay? Supreme Court backs Trump's FTC firing, expands presidential power. This just happened. Let me read this to you. The Supreme Court on Monday backed Donald Trump's firing of a Democratic FTC member. Sorry. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday backed Donald Trump's firing of a Democratic FTC member, expanding his powers over the government and overturning its 1935 precedent that had recognized. Why can't I speak? Why can't I read? Hello, help me. Expanding his powers over the government and overturning its 1935 precedent that had recognized the authority of Congress to protect leaders of certain regulatory agencies from presidential removal at will. So, in a 6-3 decision, powered by the court's conservative majority, invalidated tenure protections for FTC members enacted by Congress more than a century ago. In doing so, the justices overruled the court's pivotal decision in a case called Humphreys Executor versus United States. Trump last year dismissed the FTC's Rebecca Slaughter over policy differences. So the court signaled that this decision should not be seen as undermining the Federal Reserve's independence, with the justices describing the U.S. Central Bank as possessing a unique historical tradition. Okay, so the Federal Reserve has a unique historical tradition, and its independence can't be undermined, but the FTC can. Okay, In another landmark ruling on Monday, the court refused to let Trump fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, standing firm to preserve central bank independence. So, you know, let me Google Lisa Cook real quick. Lisa Cook. Damn. So that's interesting. He was allowed to fire the FTC, an FTC commissioner, but not the Federal Reserve governor. Interesting. In the FTC case, the court ruled that removal protections for FTC members unlawfully encroached on presidential power under the U.S. Constitution. What? Okay. Chief Justice John Roberts, who authored the decision, joined by his 5 fellow conservatives, said Trump's authority to dismiss Slaughter last year over policy difference is not a closed case. The court's 3 liberal justices dissented. I saw a comment on Instagram when I first heard about this that said some of those justices got to be in the files because they're just letting Trump do whatever he wants. And that's not me saying that. That was a comment that I read on Instagram. And obviously, I'm not alleging anything. Who knows? I don't know. But that's just a comment that I saw. And I don't know if that's the case, but damn, it really makes you think. How come after, as they write here, 100 years, a century, invalidated tenure protections for FTC members enacted by Congress more than a century ago? You know, the FTC, by the way, the Federal Trade Commission, was put in place, if my recollection of history is correct, to give power to a regulatory agency so that they could combat the monopolization, illegal monopolies that were being set up by the robber barons of the steel and rail industry back in the early 1900s. Here, let's see. FTC was established in 1914 by the FTC Act. It was created to police markets, prevent unfair competition, and crack down on the monopolistic power of Gilded Age industrialists, derisively known as robber barons, whose unscrupulous tactics prompted sweeping antitrust reform. So it's kind of a head scratcher. The very regulatory agency that was established to stop unfair competition, to stop monopolies, is now being is now having its control. How do I phrase this? The control over that agency is now being given even more to a president who is the same president that sold a meme coin right before he went back into office, who was a promoter of a multi-level marketing company called ACN for many years before he went into office, who has enriched himself through the office of the president during his second term. It just seems like, it's just, I think I've officially run out of words to describe this. I'm speechless for the first time. I don't know what to say about this. Let's keep reading. The FTC's for-cause removal provision violates the separation of powers, Roberts wrote, referring to the constitutional language dividing up the authorities of the government's 3 branches. In its present form, the FTC enforces and administers some 80 statutes which cover almost every facet of our nation's economy. The tasks it undertakes are the very essence of execution of the law, precisely the president's constitutional role. Subordinates who exercise the president's power are subject to removal by him. Slaughter, appointed to her post by Joe Biden, was one of 2 Democratic FTC commissioners who Trump moved to fire in March 2025 from the Consumer Protection and Antitrust Agency. Slaughter's term was due to run until 2029. Wow. A 1914 law passed by Congress permitted a president to remove FTC commissioners only for cause, such as inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office, but not for policy differences, obviously. Sometimes you're going to have a Republican president. Sometimes you're going to have a Democratic president. You know, that's the game. Similar protections cover officials at more than 24 other independent agencies, including the National Labor Relations Board and Merit Systems Protection Board. It was not immediately clear whether the independence of these other agencies would be stripped under Monday's ruling. I mean, there's just so much that Trump is getting away with now that it's like, you know, the Jesse Pinkman meme where it's like, he can't keep getting away with this. How is he actually getting away with this? He's done so much stuff that I'm like, surely that can't be allowed. Surely that's not a possibility. And that's happened like so many times now that I'm almost like, all right, well, I guess they can just do anything. You know? JNNX, why do you respect Drake? Drake's the GOAT. What up, Benjamin? Specs, what up, Specs? Hi, Specs. What up, everybody in the chat? Crime is legal. Yep. Hyperbolically, not literally. Who has 34 felony convictions for fraud? Make America grift again. Yeah. While the court's majority said its decision should not be read as determining the fate of officials other than Slaughter, the liberal justices in a dissent, basically it means they disagreed, said the ruling gives the president a power unknown even to the English crown against which the founders revolted. Damn, that's strong dissenting language. So he's more powerful than the king, according to my understanding of this, allegedly in my opinion. Put simply, today the majority reshapes our government. Dozens of independent commissions are now likely to become purely executive agencies, shifting tremendous power over broad swaths of American life into the president's hands, wrote Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by fellow liberal justices Alina Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson. Trump hails big win. On social media, Trump welcomed the Slaughter ruling as a huge win, frankly, such a big win. He said the decision was confirming presidential power in our country to remove executive branch officers and agency appointees or representatives under Article 2, the constitutional provision laying out presidential powers. God damn.
Let's indict the motherfucker. Let's indict him.
Because you'd be in jail.
The decision was long sought by United States presidents dating all the way back to the 30s, Trump wrote, calling the decision one of the most important ever given with respect to presidential powers. Slaughter said she was disappointed with the ruling and shocked when the court overturns a unanimous 91-year-old precedent that has been used to shape so much of our government institutions. I think why it really matters is exactly as Trump said, it's unprecedented. And it hands a massive amount of power away from Congress and to the president to shape economic decision-making in a way that will reward the rich and powerful at the expense of ordinary Americans. I mean, look, we all knew nothing really transformative or substantive or actually, you know, anything of long-lasting importance was going to be done about MLMs, for example, while Trump was in office. The same guy who had Betsy DeVos of the Amway dynasty as his Secretary of Education in the first administration. The same guy who's given pardons to people like the Nikola truck guy who had the fake electric truck. The one, I did a stream several months ago about this one Jewish guy who had ran a Ponzi scheme and went to jail and then been pardoned by Trump and then ran another Ponzi scheme. It just seems like with him getting more and more power and him being also the president with the power to pardon people, I just feel like if you're somebody who can make money in a, you know, immoral or even illegal way, as long as you like sing the praises of Trump or donate money to Trump or, you know, do business with the Trump family or something of that nature, I wouldn't blame you if you said that you feel like there's a higher chance that that person might be able to skirt justice. I'm not saying that that's the case necessarily, but I wouldn't blame you if you had that impression. Trump was part of Pampered Chef MLM. Is that true? Trump, Pampered Chef. Donald Trump and Pampered Chef are completely separate that are not affiliated. The two have intersected in a few minor ways, okay? I don't think that's the case. I think maybe you're thinking of the Trump Network, which was Trump's own MLM, if I recall correctly. Let's pull this up here. Rob, pull up the Donald Trump multi-level marketing. Not the chat, Rob. Pull up the... Oh, yeah, people in the chat were asking me, too, about Rob. What's the status with Rob? He messaged me on Instagram. He followed me on Instagram last week, I think. And then he messaged me on Instagram and said... Where's his DM? Rob. Here he is. He gave me his number. I said, hey, Rob, I know you resigned from Valuetainment. I wanted to see if you'd be willing to talk with me. Could be off the record. And he said that he would be happy to, but he doesn't have much to say. He's got love. He's got nothing but love for everyone at Valuetainment. And then he gave me his cell number and said, I'll be around all weekend. And I did try to call him on Sunday, but I never heard back. So. Crazy. Type shit. Okay. I just got an important message. Bumbleclot. Okay, let's see. Mr. Vermicelli is killing me. Crime is legal. Crime Pays by Cameron. Thumbs Up the Ting by Cameron. Trump Network was a multi-level marketing company named after businessman and later President Donald Trump. The company, which sold vitamins and health products, was founded as Ideal Health in 1997 before being renamed in 2009 as part of a licensing agreement between Trump and the owners. I mean, 2009, Trump agreed to license his name to the company, which would be rebranded as the Trump Network. He also agreed to make occasional appearances at events to promote the company's products. He initially considered taking a financial stake in the company. It launched in 2009 with a ceremony attended by Trump held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Miami. Trump referred to the company, keep in mind, this is after the 2008 economic crash. He referred to the company as a rescue and recovery program for people who were suffering from the effects of the Great Recession and who needed extra income. For $48, people who wanted to be salespeople could buy a marketing kit and 3 months of access to a personalized website to promote the company products. There was also a $497 package that included coupons, CDs, and sales tips. Marketers had the right to sell any unsold inventory back to the company. Packaging for the company's products was imprinted with Trump's family crest, but the lineup of products remained mostly the same. Trump created a scientific advisory committee to evaluate the products sold by the company. He also registered 18 negative internet domain names, including Trump Network Fraud and DonaldTrumpPonziScheme.com, to prevent websites from being registered with those names. Holy. Wow. The presence of Trump's name increased the number of salespeople. By December 2010, the company had grown 373%, and staff had doubled to 50 with an additional 20,000 salespeople worldwide. Wow, that's huge. The company stated at the time revenue was nearly $40 million. Stephanie Castagnier, Liza whatever, and Stuart whatever were candidates on season 10 of The Apprentice, became salespeople for the Trump Network. Oh my gosh. In January 2011, Trump Network had plans to add products and go to Europe and Asia. while Trump hoped for the company to become larger than Amway, its largest competitor. That month, DiCaprio addressed claims that salespeople were not earning money through the company. Many times if people aren't having success, it has nothing to do with not believing in themselves. It has to do with not believing in themselves. Trump stated, this is supposed to be a second income for people. This is not about them quitting their job. Ironically, that's like a more transparent and honest thing than most MLMs will say, in my experience. Some of them, it might lead to that. In late 2011, his licensing contract with the company ended. BioCutica purchased the assets in 2012. Damn. So it only was around for like around 2 years. Wow. I wonder if there was any sort of like income disclosure. That's crazy. Trump network income disclosure. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, you can't find it now because you'll just see a bunch of crypto stuff. Trump network. Promo. The Trump network, the Trump vodka, the Trump steaks, the Trump phone, Trump steaks. The best steaks, frankly, we have the best steaks. You look at the steaks, you've never seen steak like this, right?
When it comes to great steaks, I've just raised the stakes. The Sharper Image is one of my favorite stores with fantastic products of all kinds. That's why I'm thrilled they agree with me. Trump steaks are the world's greatest steaks, and I mean that in every sense of the word. And the Sharper Image is the only store where you can buy them. Trump steaks are by far the best tasting, most flavorful beef you've ever had. Truly in a league of their own. Trump steaks are 5-star gourmet, quality that belong in a very, very select category of restaurant, and are certified Angus Beef Prime. There's nothing better than that. Of all of the beef produced in America, less than 1% qualifies for that category. It's the best of the best. Until now, you could only enjoy steaks of this quality in one of my resort restaurants or America's finest steakhouses, but now that's changed. Today, through the Sharper Image, you can enjoy the world's greatest steaks in your own home with family, friends, anytime. Trump steaks are aged to perfection to provide the ultimate in tenderness and flavor. If you like your steak, you'll absolutely love Trump steaks. Treat yourself to the very, very...
Oh my gosh. Can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Okay, let me read your comments here. Sent an email regarding Jordan Lee. Would you ever look into him? Honestly, I would, but I just get so many emails. I did get your email, but between the lawsuit stuff that I'm dealing with on my own right now, as well as the backlog of Patrick Bet-David videos that I still need to edit and get out, I'm as well as a new infiltrating a pyramid scheme video that I've been working on, hidden camera video. The requests are kind of on a backlog right now, unfortunately, but I did get your email, and I'm perhaps in the future. Email me again in a couple of months and remind me, and I'll reply to your own email that you sent me in a couple of months, and I'll look again. Lady Miter Saw says Trump's family crest is also a fraud. He stole it from the previous owner of Mar-a-Lago and added a big dumb T, allegedly, in their opinion. Tony DeMaria, what up? The domain name shit is crazy. Trump Chicken on SNL. Trump Chicken. Well, Trump himself was on SNL before, right? Oh, this is real? 10 years ago.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump.
It's Donald Trump's long-lost Saturday Night Live sketch from 11 years ago.
Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpy!
Trump dances with SNL cast members dressed as chickens in this commercial for Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Come on, get the dancers back.
For some reason, the sketch has been deleted from the official DVD, giving rise to all sorts of conspiracy theories. somebody doesn't want you to see this sketch.
The sketch, by the way, has actually been removed, I don't know why, from Hulu, from some of SNL's greatest hits. It's unclear why.
Dressed in a yellow suit and yellow tie, Trump was surrounded by 2004 cast members Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph, Seth Meyers, and Kenan Thompson. Trump has been a favorite SNL target for years and managed to joke about his image when he hosted in 2004.
It's great to be here at Saturday Night Live, but I'll be completely honest. It's even better for Saturday Night Live that I'm here.
Now here's more lost footage from 1989 when Trump was sitting in the audience for SNL's 15th anniversary show and Chevy Chase dumped popcorn on him. The Republican presidential frontrunner will be hosting SNL on November 7th, and it's already stirring controversy. The nation's largest Hispanic civil rights organization calls it a slap in the face and appalling to showcase a man whose campaign has been built on bigotry and demagoguery for the sake of buzz and ratings.
Green Acres is the place to be.
By the way, Trump has demonstrated his performing chops on shows besides SNL. Here he is in overalls singing the Green Acres theme at the 2005 Emmy Awards.
Green Acres, we are there.
Holy fucking shit. It's actually crazy. He was also in WWE. Let me find his McDonald's commercial.
I don't know how you do it. I put together some really impressive deals. But this thing you've pulled off, it's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1?
It literally is interdimensional cable TV.
How do you do it? What's your secret?
Got a buck? You're in luck. Because you can get a delicious beefy big and tasty, a McChicken sandwich, and lots of your other favorites on McDonald's Dollar Menu every day.
Together, Grimace, we could own this town.
Trump. I think it was either Pizza Hut or Domino's. Yeah, Pizza Hut.
Do you really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Donald.
Ivana. It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
Donald. Ivana. Va.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Crust first.
Introducing Stuffed Crust Pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first.
May I have the last slice?
Actually, you're only entitled to half.
Large, just $9.99.
Holy. Oh, you thought we was done? Or you thought we was finished?
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump. We're all cut from the same cloth, and that cloth is very, very large.
It's not too big, is it?
No.
Why do New Yorkers have such big mouths?
Go big or go home.
Because they eat big pizza like the big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. We're talking 40% bigger. Soft, fresh dough with all your favorite toppings. Now from just $9.95.
You've got to be losing money on this.
131166. Pizza Hut.
Oh, remember when prices were good? 131166. It's just crazy. Mans was in Home Alone. Mans was in... Oh, he did Domino's too. Holy.
He'll see you now.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Trump. Here's your new Domino's cheeseburger pizza.
This gives me a really great idea. Listen to this. You take a cheeseburger, you put it together with a pizza. Write this down. You call it the new Domino's cheeseburger pizza. What do you guys think?
Brilliant.
Yes, genius. Absolutely.
But, sir, we already...
You ought to be paying me for this.
The new Infiltrating a Pyramid is a hybrid. I think those ones are the best, where you show... It's like mix of online and hidden camera. I've already filmed the hidden camera portions. The market spoke, and Trump lost his chicken business to Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Trump ACN promo.
Success in ACN is not a mystery. You remove the advertising agency and you provide cutting-edge products that people need and want directly to consumers. ACN uses a model with a proven track record, and it's creating millionaires. ACN is really all about teamwork. You just don't see that attitude in corporate America today. It rarely exists. But one thing that I've discovered about ACN is that it's really one big team, and it's a big team of good people. If you don't succeed, ACN doesn't succeed. It's quite a refreshing business model and a refreshing approach to success.
What's this? This is what a Trump scam looks like?
ACN continues writing history with its partner in success, multi-billionaire entrepreneur Donald J. Trump. In 2006, ACN made network marketing history when it received the personal endorsement of Mr. Trump, a world-renowned businessman, best-selling author, and the executive producer of hit reality shows The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice. Since then, Mr. Trump has continued to praise the company, its co-founders, and home-based business opportunity, making numerous appearances from the ACN stage and taking time to meet with many of ACN's representatives. He was featured in Success Magazine with ACN in 2008, as well as in 3 issues of Success from Home magazine. In short, Mr. Trump is more than just an endorser of ACN. He has become a friend of ACN and has developed an excellent relationship with ACN co-founders.
I mean, somebody said in the chat, search up Donald Trump commercial Serta 911. I never, oh, like Serta mattresses. Okay, let's find it. Donald Trump mattress commercial. Oh, here's Serta mattress. I think I've seen this.
Just taking a look at this 2010.
What do you think of my Trump home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never come cheap again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do. Welcome to Room 9. Looking good, number 9. Looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Save now on this Trump Home
LOL.
Luxury Suites mattress during the Serta Luxury.
We want to make.
Joan, you look beautiful as always. You never change. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, my darling?
I read a wonderful article about you today, and they really attribute a lot of your recent success to The Celebrity Apprentice and your big victory.
Of course. The whole movie, Joan Rivers, a piece of work. That's the focal turnaround point, which is very interesting.
Well, I hear the movie is...
This is so funny to me. They were pushing this Star Trek looking bulky ass home phone, video phone, which the other person also needed to have in order for it to work, mind you. And then it was like a year later or something like that FaceTime came out on like smartphones. Hilarious. Treytino. Oh, we know you love Joan Rivers, Treytino. So no Rob? I don't know. I'm waiting for him to reply. Jesus Christ, Jorge. Every question this guy's asked in the chat is about Rob. Have you had Rob on yet from PBD? Have you had Rob on PBD from PBD to talk about leaving? Question mark. No. So no Rob? Dude, are you okay?
It's fantastic, Joan, and I'm going to go see it. But I really hear it's fantastic. Joan?
And yes, somebody in the chat, Plain Decoded, Robert Kiyosaki and Trump. Yes, I actually have a stream about that, about the collabs, the history of collabs between Robert Kiyosaki and Trump.
Joan Rivers, a piece of work.
I am so excited
I think you're thinking about the Trump Network, Benjamin. We just talked about that a little bit ago.
about this.
ACN is a great company, Joan. That we both know.
And I am having the best time because we're putting one into Melissa's house so that I can deal now with Melissa and with Cooper every night. Really see what he's made in school. He can show it to me.
Well, you know, when we had ACN on Celebrity Apprentice, it was one of our highest rated episodes, and you liked it that night because you also won that night. So we love you, Joan, and we love ACN, and I just want to congratulate you on the movie and the great success that you've had. I'm very proud of you, Joan.
I love you, and you look good, and as always, you have a fabulous tie.
Thank you, darling. You just take care of yourself.
Bye, sweetheart. Goodbye, honey. Is that the cutest? Is that the sweetest? That you can talk to a friend and you can see a friend. I mean, it's wonderful. This is just one. And the nice thing is now, when I get calls from telemarketers, I can moon them.
Va. You know? Can't believe this. Can't believe you've done this. 11 months ago, someone commented, have these guys heard of FaceTime? Just crazy. The ACN video phone is such an example of how, like, MLM companies they're not actually innovating on or ideating on or evolving anything, you know? They're just, it's shit that we already had. Okay, let's see. We talked about the Sony trying to take the content back, Trump taking over more control of the FTC, which is super annoying. By the way, if you go look at the FTC on if you look at the FTC's Instagram, it's like it's disappointing. Let me pull it up for you. 9,048 followers. Here we go. These are the types of videos they post, okay?
FTC Commissioner Mark Meadows here with the top frauds of 2025 based on your reports to the FTC. Let's count them down. From number 5, investment scams, where nearly 80% of people report losing money, often big money. Number 4.
By the way, investment scams, is that like the broad label we're using to talk about like Ponzi schemes, crypto coins? Technically, those could fall under that label.
Business and job opportunity scams, which hurt the labor market and people looking for jobs.
Okay, business and job opportunity scams. So, I mean, they don't specify MLM, but we know that that's what probably the majority of that is. Hey, girly, are you looking for a side income?
Number 3, internet services, including reports about payment apps and online payments. Number 2, online shopping scams, which can involve not getting an order or being billed for something not ordered. And number 1, once again, imposter scams, where people reported losing big money to a scammer pretending to be someone from the government, a business you know, or a love interest. Dig into the numbers at ftc.gov/data.
I mean, was this made for boomers? Let me actually go to the website, ftc.gov/data. Please tell us how much of this was MLM. And I think, did he say in the beginning that it was based on reports? Here, data and visualizations. Please show us what our money is going to fund. Explore data lets you dig into, okay, let's look. Let's look. How do I actually get to it? Oh, it downloaded a file to my computer. Let's see. Oh, no, it's just an HTML. Okay, well, I don't want that. Where do I go to see it?
Hi, I'm Paul Witt, Lead Data Analyst at the Federal Trade Commission. I'd like to show you how to find out what scams, identity theft, and other consumer issues look like in your area. At ftc.gov/explore data, we've published information from the Consumer Sentinel Network. You can see there are a bunch of reports, but let's check out state and metro area maps. You can get to your state or metro area by clicking into these maps. Let's look at fraud and identity theft combined. As you can see, this is a powerful tool. It's dynamic, interactive, and updated on a quarterly basis. From here, you can choose your state to see what kinds of problems people have reported. Once you click, and we'll just choose Florida, you can see your state's top 10 reports, the total losses, median losses, and the total number of reports. You can also change the time frame. That lets you see how reports changed over time. Or you can look at what's happened in the whole year or just part of the year. The data then changes accordingly. You can get to our other maps through these links, including by metro area. Each map gives you some options up here in the top right corner. If you click on the Federal Trade Commission profile here, you'll find a whole gallery of reports and infographics. You can see all of the Sentinel fraud and identity theft statistics, look at what people are saying about Do Not Call, and check out interactive
Holy shit. This is what y'all are spending money on? These interactive fucking infographics? Nobody's gonna ever use this. This is the most it's getting used right now. Me doing it right now on my live stream. This is who's using it. Trying to sift through and figure out. Oh, look, I can click the thing that says social media and it will highlight it. Wow. How about we actually do something? I mean, here, I pulled up another thing. Show me the breakdown here, category. Okay, business and job opportunity scams. Multi-level marketing is not even a part of it. How about crypto? Nothing about crypto. Okay, let's go business and job opportunity scams for the year 2025. All right. Total loss report, $150 million. Number of reports, 25,000. Reporting percentage of reporting money loss, 35%. Median loss, 2,000. Top contact method, email. Okay. So, Nevada with the... Damn, Texas with the highest number of reports. Okay. So what? No other states made reports? Oh, these are the top states. Okay. Well, what else can I click? Okay, I can click it. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually populate any numbers. And I'm a numbers guy. So... What? Refunds? Okay, let me click refunds. Blue Wheel of Death. You love... Okay. Advocare, that's an MLM, right? 2 million in distributions. How does this... Refunds? Okay, so this is... Refunds to consumers. Okay, well, how do I see... Oh, Herbalife. There's one for Herbalife. $0 sent in first distribution in Kentucky. Let's see it. Okay, so we see the MLM presence here. Let's go to Ohio. No, let's go to yeah, Ohio. I'm guessing we'll see. Yep, Advocare, Herbalife. Okay, what's the state, the Midwestern state with all the housewives and all the Mormons that are in MLMs and shit? Alaska. California will be huge for sure. What is AMG Services? Why is that on the top of all the lists? AMG Services. A mechanical service? Financial management? AMG Group, Global Investment? Mercedes AMG? Utah. Yeah, okay. Let me find Utah on here. Here, Utah. Let's let it load. AMG Herbalife near the top. Okay, 2 million sent. Leasing, Fortnite, Epic Games, Vonage, Advocare again. Interesting. Here, let's go sort by all. And not just first distribution amount, but number of recipients, perhaps. Whoa. Oh, whoa. There's a whole, there's way more than I expected. Damn, look at all these. It'd be interesting to go through and see. Oh, Vima. Vima's still around, refunding 140 recipients in Utah. Crazy. Look, I'm just skimming through. LifeWatch, is that an MLM? I'm trying to see how many if you actually went through one by one, I bet you a bunch of these are MLMs. Aura V sounds like an MLM. Advocare, that is. Damn, look at this. Herbalife near the top. How many recipients for Herbalife? 2,300. Damn, just in the one state? Holy fuck. Dang. Okay. What about Michigan, home of Amway? I wonder if we'll see Amway on here. Actually, sort by the top 10. Is Amway going to be in the top 10? Strangely not. Look at this, $16 million. What the hell is AMG Services? Can somebody tell me, you guys? Teacher, I need to go to the bathroom. You may. Thank you, Plain Decoded, for asking. The goons, we love to see that. AT&T invented the video phone back in the 60s. Sorry, 90s. My page just refreshed for some reason. Ideal Health was the vitamin MLM. Yeah, I think Ideal Health, we read in the wiki that it was rebranded to the Trump Network. You send your piss to them and they lie and say they used it to customize the vitamin for you by checking it. That's hilarious. Surely you could have done that without having to collect a bunch of people's piss, right? Michigan represent, says Rob, type shit. Dang. Age and fraud. Of course, the people... Oh, no. The people getting scammed the highest are, of course, the oldest group. 19 and under. 19 and under losing the least, of course. Because... And also reporting the least. And then as you get higher... Damn, that's sad. So, is it that people get more desperate as life goes on? People get more fed up with life and feeling like, damn. Oh, look, see? If you click 80 and over, it shows you the number one type of scam was business imposters. Yeah, okay, business imposters through credit cards. 30% of it was through credit card and over the phone. Damn, that sucks. How about age 30 to 39? Business imposters. Yep, jobs and employment scam agencies. Yeah, okay, 20 to 29. Damn. Online shopping. What? Fuck me. I mean, this is... That guy who was in the video is getting paid to upkeep this website. Who is using this, bro? It says 62,000 views, but I mean... Is that cumulative since 2019? 62,000 views between now and April 2nd, 2020, or between then and April 2nd, 2026? Good lordy lord. Can't believe you've done this. Well, look. I have a bunch of content. I have a bunch of content still about Patrick Bet-David that I've actually already recorded that I need to still post. I'm in the editing process right now, but dude, it sucks how much time the lawsuit, like drafting documents for my lawyers takes for those lawsuits. But I have Patrick Bet-David video where Patrick Bet-David interviews himself. If you guys remember that stream that I did where he interviewed himself, I have to clip that up. I have the stream where it's Patrick Bet-David and all the times I could find where he's like speaking favorably about Scientology. And then I also have a couple of multi-level misery episodes with people that used to be in PHP that I still need to edit as well. So a lot of stuff dropping regarding, and also I mean, I said if we fill up the donor goal, I'll do another stream as PBD, but we'll see. We'll see where the goon loyalty lies. And dude, the don't tell me Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram, bro, I literally, let me see if I can actually pull up the analytics here. This is absolutely crazy. I can't believe you've done this. If you go to the Insights account, look at this. Look at this. 2.6 million views in the last 30 days. Really, it's the last 7 days because that's when it's been going crazy. Let's let it from these clips I've been posting. Last 7 days, please populate. Infinite loading bar. We love to see that. Anywho, so most of this from non-followers from Reels because of posting trial Reels. So I did a stream that got like, I don't know, around 6,000 views on the full-length stream, but I cut 6 clips from it. And those 6 clips plus this skit that I did where it's Patrick Bet-David getting a haircut, posted on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Instagram trial Reels, and Facebook combined, I think got probably over 1 million views just on those. And one of the things that I've been teaching people on the Mission to Monetization site, the people that go there and they watch the free workshop and then they, purchase a one-on-one package to work with me on growing their own social media and making money off of it. I'm showing them how to actually take the videos. Like you'll see a video like this. See when I'm streaming here, it's like I'm on the left of the screen and this is on the right. And then in the clip, I'm on the top and the clip is on the bottom. That's just because in the editing software, I'm moving the image from the right of me to below me so that it works for this format. So that's one of the things I'm showing people how to do is how to repurpose the content into verticals, because this is how you're going to grow. I hate to say it. I wish we could all just turn on a camera and stream for 3 hours and that's how we're going to blow up. But, the majority of people don't actually watch live streams. I've got 123,000 followers. There's 100 people watching this right now. The percentage of that is like 1/1000th, I think. 1/10,000th. Most people just aren't able to tune in live all the time because, they'll miss it or they have other shit going on or whatever. People generally will watch stuff on YouTube that they're able to watch at their convenience. They might see it on their feed, add it to their watch later, and then watch it later. Most of the live stream views I get are on the replays anyways. But you're really, if you think about any big streamer, the way they blew up is actually not from streaming itself. It's from clipping. I just love live, Marco. It hits different. Thank you, Tratino. Appreciate it. I agree. We have the most fun. This is the inner circle of the cult where we have the most fun, where I get to chat with you guys and read your comments. Voldemorty, what up? High level PBD content, true. Glow, what up? Do you ever watch Kit Boga? Yeah, I see those videos sometimes. But honestly, I don't get to watch a ton of stuff because I'm always working on my own stuff. But Rob V says, I'll follow you on Rumble and Blue Sky. Yeah, I'm not on Blue Sky. I think I have a Rumble, but I set it up and never posted on it. PBDception should be the name of that video. So yeah, this is like one of the things I'm teaching people to do, because if you actually think about any person who's like a big streamer you've heard of, whether that's like iShowSpeed or Neon or Clavicular, these people blew up from clips. Clips is how they did it. And I wish I would have understood this sooner, because I was streaming like 3 times a week for at least 3 hours a stream for like literally years before I ever actually started clipping anything. And once I started clipping stuff is when I really started to grow. So this is something I'm teaching people how to do in Mission to Monetization. So if you're interested, hit me up on there. A lot of you guys are not interested in like growing content wise or making content or whatever, but some people have been booking shorter one-on-one calls with me at alwaysmarcomerch.com to book the one-on-one calls with me. Some people who have a story to share, similar to what you would see on like a multi-level misery episode, but they don't really want to like share it publicly. A lot of those people have been booking calls just to talk to me privately about that and ask me for like tips and strategy on how to get their loved ones out of MLMs. And of course, I have the free guide, the exit plan guide, which you can get on the exitplan.info. You can download the free guide that I put together there. And yeah, Thermal Heat says you're selling courses now. Yeah, I've got this a few times of people being like, "Oh, you're selling a course." I'm not selling a course. I'm selling my actual personal one-on-one time. I wish I could. I probably could have made a fire course which I actually kind of did make a course, which was the Mission to Monetization free workshop. It's an hour and a half long of tons of value that I've learned over 7 years of being a YouTuber, and I just put it out for free. So, you know, I probably could have charged a ton of money for that as a course and just, you know, let it passively collect money for me. But I don't know. I didn't feel great about that. So yeah, I just put it out for free. But no, what I'm selling is my actual one-on-one time, helping people build sustainable, repeatable content format systems for themselves and monetize it. And I give a couple of case study examples in the Mission to Monetization workshop that I did. So you can go check that out. Prince Royal says, I only watch Asmongold clips because I ain't got time to watch whole streams that are 4 hours plus. I mean, yeah, he's another example of somebody who like has done this very well, where you know him from clips, you know, YouTube pushes vertical stuff. You should simulcast vertically. Yeah, actually, I just recently saw that there is an option to do that on YouTube now. And I haven't turned it on because the thing is, it doesn't show me if there's a way to like format it. Like, is it just going to take the middle section, the middle third of the screen and start broadcasting that vertically? Because if so, obviously I don't want that. So, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. We don't know. I don't know actually how it works, but I guess I'll have to test it out. And if it does turn out that the way it operates is by just broadcasting the middle third of the screen, then, you know, it's not the end of the world. I could figure something out, you know, but yeah, I will test that. Maybe I'll do that for the next upcoming Patrick Bet-David impersonation live stream. People were telling me, they were like, you know, you could have a whole podcast, which is just you like reacting to the PBD podcast, and then or you doing your own version of the PBD podcast. So like anytime there's like a current event that I want to talk about, I do it as Patrick Bet-David with all the rambling and whatever, which is hilarious. I mean, I did that about the Venezuela. I did that on Halloween, and the clip went kind of mini viral about the Patrick Bet-David talking about his Halloween plans. I did that because it was Halloween when I filmed it. And same thing with the Venezuela, the President Maduro Venezuela thing. Where is it? Patrick Bet-David explains the U.S.-Venezuela crisis. This video is hilarious.
Trump is going into Venezuela, and they taking the President Maduro and they bringing him over here. Now, I'm looking at Twitter. Twitter is saying it's because of oil. I'm thinking, okay, let's take that.
By the way, even since this video, I think my impression has gotten better.
Who is the big players when it comes to oil? You think of somebody like a Donald Trump, a Diddy. You know, when they arrest Diddy, they saying he has something like $50 billion of baby oil in his house, right? Rob, pull up the picture. Pull up Diddy baby oil bathroom in his house. Okay, so we're having dinner last night, Casa D'Angelo. Me, Tom, Adam, my son Dilly, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, and we're having these very high-level conversations about it. The owner comes over, Angelo. I say, Angelo, I'm actually curious, how much oil are you using in the steak to make it taste so good? Okay? He's telling me this, telling me that. I say, okay, let's take that. When I was in the military, we're going overseas, and what is it about? People is saying oil. So you look at Venezuela, what is it about? Is it because of baby oil, olive oil, or another kind? We don't know. So Donald Trump is going into...
So stupid, you know? But, you know, I had a lot of fun with that one. See, you got to clip. You got to clip shit. You got to clip shit. And even there's pieces of content like this that did exceptionally well. Like
Patrick
this one.
Bet-David is charged.
What the fuck happened right there? Hello?
This is why...
Hello? What the fuck? Anyways, this example I was going to show you here, this is not actually from a stream. This is a standalone, like I just filmed this on its own. Okay, I guess it doesn't want to fucking load. Fuck me, I guess. Here's one.
Get free. They don't understand the network building.
This isn't from a stream. This is like its own dedicated
realtors are
filmed piece of content, okay? You can also do stuff like this, where even if you don't make long form content, like I can show you how to edit something like this together, where you're watching it and then you have this overlay on the screen. You can even just do it on your phone. It doesn't have to be set up with a camera like this. You can do the green screen reaction videos easily. I just thought this looked better because it was more like, you know, I filmed it on my actual camera. But something went wrong. Fuck yeah. My page got disabled or what? Anywho. But yeah, there's a lot to learn. You know, a lot of people ask me like, how do you stream? How do you set up the thing on the screen with the donation alert? You know, some people don't know how to use OBS at all. Like when I switch to this, or when I switch to this, or when I switch to this, or when I press a button that makes a message go in the chat. Like just now, I clicked a button and now there's going to be a message in the chat that says thumbs up the thing. See? You know, what mic do I use? What camera do I use? What settings should I use? How do I set this up? On and on and on. You know, I have a button for my light. Look, I press the button, the light turns off. I press another button, the light turns back on. You know? Some people want to just know how to edit. You know, some people want to know how to edit videos for YouTube. Whatever it is that you want to learn. Some people want to learn, how do I set up a merch store? How do I set up a Patreon? What should I offer? There's tons of questions, and so many people who make content just get in their head about stupid shit, and they literally, like, not to sound like an MLM guru, but they get in their own way, bro. They really do. And I've been really proud that I've been able to help some of these people get out of their own way. The lady that I'm helping, who she makes dresses, her company makes dresses. Her big roadblock has just been that she's like nervous about showing up on camera and over obsessing about like the format, the lighting, the angle. Am I speaking clearly enough? You know, on a bunch of stuff. And so a lot of it is even just like mental, because I've been there too, you know, like when I first started making YouTube videos, I was like so nervous to even sit down in front of a camera where I'm pre-recording it, like not even a live stream. Now it's nothing for me to like turn on the camera, know one or two things that I'm going to talk about, and then stream for 3 hours. Is no challenge at all. Especially when there's people in the chat that, like, you know, we can bounce off of each other. Pause. But yeah, in the beginning I was super nervous to do it, and there's like that's a mental block for a lot of people for sure. So anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. I have a ton of editing to do, a ton of legal bullshit work to do. And yeah, if you guys want to support Streamlabs, link in the chat, pay the goon tax, alwaysmarco.vip. We're still working on getting it finalized and set up, but I noticed a lot of you guys joined as users for free on the channel or on the page. So join there while it's free, and exclusive content will be posted there soon. The Bottom G interview I filmed in 2024 in Bangkok, the extended Matt Cox podcast interview that has not seen the light of day, etc. Yeah, type shit. Okay, well, appreciate you guys. Thank you, Prince Royal. Love to see y'all again. It's always good. And you're going to see clips from this stream too upon your head top. So lots of work to do, lots of videos to clip and clip and clip. And you take the live stream, you do the live stream, you cut the live stream down into a 15-minute video, you cut the 15-minute video down into multiple short clips, you post the short clips on 6 different platforms. Statistically impossible to not blow up when you're doing it like that. But anywho, I'm here. Once my calendar fills up, it fills up. I can't help y'all. I have a call tomorrow night at 8 p.m. That's Thursday. I've got another one on Monday, another one next Wednesday. The calendar's been filling up, and I haven't even really started like posting, like published on my feed content about the mission to monetization thing. It's just been through streams and Instagram stories that I've been talking about it so far. So, you know, once we're full, we're full. But anywho, appreciate y'all. Much love. We'll see you again. Don't do drugs. Later. Peace. Mickey. All that. All right. Peace out. Peace. Follow the Instagram. What do you want me to say? Follow the Instagram. Streamlabs. Support the cult. Support the. You see it. Support the me buying a ticket to go see Norman Finkelstein. Support the. You see it. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Peace.